It feels clarifying, and if you are committed to building this kind of psychological steadiness, take a moment to like this video. Engagement strengthens the reach of thoughtful discourse in a world that often rewards impulsive reaction. Now, we must move deeper still, for there is another dimension to this problem, one more subtle, and perhaps more difficult. Why do we sometimes tolerate passive aggression longer than we should? Why do intelligent, capable individuals remain entangled in indirect hostility? The answer lies not only in the aggressor's fear, but in our own, and that is where we will turn next. Part 3, on dependency, ego, and the invisible contract. There is a reason why passive aggression unsettles some people more than others. It is not simply the behavior itself. It is the invisible contract beneath it. When subtle hostility disturbs us deeply, it is often because something in us feels at risk: reputation, approval, belonging, stability, affection, authority, control. Passive aggression does not attack openly. It destabilizes quietly. And what it destabilizes is not the outer situation, but the inner equilibrium of those who depend on certainty. Imagine a young architect working under a senior partner known for indirect criticism. The partner rarely says, "This design is flawed." Instead, he sighs slightly during presentations. He glances at others before responding. He offers faint praise wrapped in uncertainty. Interesting choice. Bold. The architect begins to doubt himself. He works longer hours. He seeks reassurance from colleagues. He revises projects repeatedly, not because they are wrong, but because he fears the implication of being wrong. Over time, the subtle tension reshapes his behavior more effectively than open criticism ever could. Why? Because he wants approval, because he depends, in part, on the senior partner's validation to feel secure. And this is where Stoic philosophy enters, not as abstract theory, but as strategic insight. Seneca warned that a man who depends on the approval of others becomes their servant, not because others are tyrants by nature, but because dependency grants them influence over your emotional stability. Passive aggression often finds its leverage in precisely this dependency. If you do not require the approval of the one who insinuates, the insinuation loses force. If you do not rely on the emotional warmth of the one who withdraws, the withdrawal weakens. If you do not fear social exclusion, subtle exclusion cannot terrify you. This does not mean one must become indifferent to human connection. Stoicism is not isolation. It is balance. The Stoic values relationships.